Hopefully that's a good thumbnail. Hey y'all, and welcome to the semi-annual Cloverroom Empties Palooza. It's me, Cam, the host of the semi-annual Cloverroom Empties Palooza. Once again, it was between me and no one, so I got the job. Just barely though. Just barely. I'm feeling a little wild. It's Cloverroom After Dark. It's 11:42. The Dream just lost. Their third in a row, so don't love that. But this isn't about the WNBA or my beloved Atlanta Dreams winning woes. This is about the empties I have accumulated over the last 6 months, and we have to discuss them. It's imperative that I get my thoughts out there, and perhaps even more important, it is imperative that these items get discarded so they're not just living under my kitchen sink, taking up valuable real estate where I could just be throwing stuff that I'll forget that I actually threw in under the kitchen sink, and then I'll have to look through the disorganized kitchen sink. This bag, this Lululemon bag that I truly don't even remember where I got from, because I don't think I really even ever bought anything from Lululemon. Although I guess the bag will go right back under the sink after this to start accumulating new empties, so actually the real estate it takes up is essentially the same. Okay, so I have a lot of empties here. I've been doing these every 6 months. I feel like the last year or year and a half too, I don't know. I feel like it always gives me plenty to talk about without feeling too overwhelming. Today I have less of everything besides makeup than I thought. I do have a strong amount of makeup empties, which is always great. You know, we got skincare, hair care, body care, nail care. Without further deadpan, kind of low energy ado. All right, we're gonna start with makeup. I kind of like, okay, we're gonna do a Whitney Rose Real Housewives of Salt Lake City or a refresh. I gotta turn on the charm. Let's start with some primers that I used up. One of which was actually I used up 2 e.l.f. grippy primers. I'm very into the grippy primer thing right now. Helps a lot with the longevity of my makeup. I've been wearing makeup more like during a traditional work day, which is quite long, especially with commuting. I have noticed when I do wear a grippy primer, it lasts a lot longer, and it kind of took a bit to like actually get that into my routine and do it every day. But when I wouldn't do it, I would notice like huge differences. So both of these are from e.l.f., a company I don't buy from anymore, which is unfortunate. Because one of these I really liked and one of them I was iffy on. So the first one I used up was this Power Grip primer from e.l.f. This is kind of like their beloved bestseller. I loved this. I thought it was really, really great. Really, really grippy. It's a dupe of the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip. I want to try that one again now that I'm on like kind of a grippy primer. I don't even know if it's a journey, but it's just something that I use every day at this point. I really, really noticed a difference when I wore this every day. I kind of noticed it throughout all grippy primers, but I feel like this one, I noticed the best difference. This was like a deluxe size sample I got as a gift with purchase with like an e.l.f. order, and I just wanted to use it up, but when I did, I of course missed it. The other one I wasn't as crazy about, which kind of surprised me, was the e.l.f. Jelly Pop primer. The Power Grip I feel like is their like most popular, but like this is the, if you know, you know, beloved. So many people love this primer. I actually did not like it nearly as much as the Power Grip. I found it still had really good gripping qualities, but I didn't think my makeup looked as good at the end of the day as it did with the Power Grip, actually. And I also found the scent of this one just like absolutely nauseating, because I put on my makeup at like 6:30 in the morning, and this was kind of the equivalent of like, okay, I'm getting up, I'm getting used to the day. Maybe I've made coffee, maybe I haven't yet. Maybe I'm gonna go get coffee on the way to work. Really easing into the day. And then all of a sudden I would put this on and it would feel like somebody just drove a semi full of watermelon Jolly Ranchers through my bedroom wall, because the smell was so intense and just like, ooh. I was like, okay, but people really love this, so I'll try to get past the scent. And I actually, again, thought the Power Grip did a better job. I would really like to try the pink Power Grip now. I just am not buying from e.l.f. currently. So, although then I bought another not Power Grip, but I bought a gripping product from another drugstore brand that I also don't really like, or that it's not that I don't like, but I'm trying not to purchase from. So I don't know. I need to... Does anybody have any, like, non-problematic gripping primers that are, like, still affordable? I mean, I do like Milk Makeup a lot, so I will probably try the Power Grip primer next, but it's just, like, so expensive, and this is, like, now a product that I kind of use up rather quickly, and it's become a little utilitarian, so... I don't love having stuff that I'm constantly using up be more in the Sephora realm. I prefer it to be in the drugstore realm. So I think I've heard one about like really good things about a hard candy gripping primer. If you have any recommendations for a gripping primer that's not owned by like an Estee Lauder, L'Oreal, is an Elf. Ew, this is disgusting. Another primer I use, this is a mini of the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. I have it in it, or I had it. I once had her. She used to be mine. And she used to be mine in the shade Too Fair. This is good. This is really good. I think this has been iterated on a lot. I still really love the original Hollywood Flawless Filter. The only thing is I do feel like there's something in it that turns it orange. And I feel like that was the same when I used the e.l.f. Halo Glow. So I don't know like if it's like the mica or like... Although mica's like more of like a... almost like ashy reflect, I feel like. I don't know. There's something in this and like other versions of it that like turn it like very warm orange. I really like this. I think it makes my skin look really, really beautiful under foundation, or I was using it as a highlighter too. It was so good that I took the stopper out, which I really don't do for everything, but I did want to get every last drop. I would repurchase this. I really do like it. I will say right now, like, I love the Ritual Defee Creature of Light Full Face Serum Illuminator. More than I like the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter for Superstar Youth Glow. I really do love this, and it comes in a pump, which can be more convenient, but can also sometimes I like a doe foot, sometimes I like a pump. I could see myself repurchasing this, especially the mini. I feel like the mini lasted a good amount of time and was really, really great, especially for travel. I don't travel that much. I just feel like people who make YouTube videos love to mention travel, and I guess maybe they travel more than me, but I do find that a common theme on YouTube. It's like, I need this for travel. It's so good for travel. And it's like, where are you going? But I guess influencers do go places. I don't. I mean, I go like a couple of places, but, you know, not enough to travel, or not enough to like, I don't know, have something be travel friendly, be that much of a pro. But I would repurchase this in the mini size. I did like having it. Okay. Oh. Missed the bag. Can't make a shot tonight. Much like the Atlanta Dream and their third consecutive loss, which I'm definitely over. Okay. This is a foundation that I'm just counting as an empty because this is my channel. This is my empties palooza. I can do what I want. This is Glossier Stretch Foundation in the shade Light 1, which I don't know... This shouldn't have been an empty because I should not have been wearing this foundation. It's way too dark for me. I mean, maybe when I was running more and I had more of a tan, but like... And I did mix this a lot with like lighter things because it was pretty deep for me. There's like a little bit still in there, but it's mostly empty. It's so inconsistent, and that's kind of like its worst sin, I would say. It can look really good. It can also look kind of heavy and be kind of hard to blend in. Pretty okay coverage, didn't wear great. I would say this is like a much worse version of my beloved Kosas foundation, which I'm actually wearing today, mixed with the previously mentioned Ritual Defee Creature of Light Full Face Serum Illuminator. I also have a second lighter shade of this. I think I got on like some warehouse sale. I've also decluttered somewhat recently because I just like... Glossier is like, well, not even slowly. I've really just kind of transitioned out of her. And now she's on Amazon. This is the second video in a row I've mentioned that, but it's really weird to me. I used up a blush from Ilia, and I actually scraped it out. I don't know if I used everything I depotted, but sometimes you use up makeup and it's really exciting and you feel good about yourself because makeup can be hard to use up, especially when you have a lot of makeup. And that's usually me. And sometimes you're really sad when you use up makeup. And that's how I was with this. This is the Ilia multi-stick in the shade Ladybird. I would say this is like up there for like my favorite blush of all time. Like I really loved this. It's like the perfect, like, I mean, it's like very similar to what I'm wearing today and what I wear most days. It is a rosy, slightly mauve-y, neutral, like kind of warm shade. It's that, not dissimilar to what I'm wearing today. I will say I bought a couple of other blushes to replace this one. I did think about just buying this again, but I really did like this formula. It's very, very dewy and very thick and creamy. I think when I've talked about this previously, I've kind of referred to it as like kind of like almost like an analog cream blush. Like I feel like a lot of the cream blushes that launch now are like cream to powder, powder to cream, or, you know, they're all over the place. Or they're very, very thin, balmy, low pigment, which is not my favorite at all. This had pretty good pigment, but was a much thicker texture, which I really love because that meant it actually lasted. Maybe not all day, but like a lot of the day. I think if you like something that dries down, you might not like this. I don't really care if things dry down that much because honestly my skin is so dry that they eventually will because my skin sucks the life out of everything. I only use this on the cheeks. I didn't use this at all on the lips. And it had kind of that like clean product scent. If you've used like a good amount of Ilia and Kosas, you'll know it. But I would repurchase this for sure. I think it's really beautiful. These are really, really expensive for what they are. Ilia is like always $5 more expensive than it should be. Like in my head, an Ilia cream blush should be like $28. And even that's obviously expensive, but like I'm pretty sure this is more like $34, which it's just, yeah, that's a little ridiculous to me. I do like the packaging. I mean, it's very simple, but it's like a nice, almost like metal material. Maybe not even almost, it might be a metal, like tin, aluminum, I don't know. This is really great. I love her. But I did, again, like I said, I replaced her with a couple of other things that I may like even more than this actually. Because my one problem with this is that it almost, even though like I said, I didn't really mind that it was like sticky per se, I did find the texture didn't work as well in like more glam looks. This was definitely like an everyday staple, which is great. But I feel like the other things that I bought a Ritual Defeat blush and I bought one of the new Kosas blushes. And they're both basically, both of those are basically the same exact shade, which is also the same exact shade as this because it is the blush shade I like to wear most of the time, as you can see. I'm wearing the Kosas one today with like a little bit of the Westman Atelier Petal powder blush on top. Those formulas I feel like kind of, especially the Kosas one, lends itself to kind of like every different type of makeup I like to do. And I feel like this one, there was like a limit to how, like it wouldn't do as well on like a more full coverage day. So it did kind of limit itself. And I feel like there are other versions of this shade that don't. But I could definitely see myself repurchasing this because I do miss her. She's beautiful. She's an icon. She's an icon in my collection. Like if somebody asked me what's your favorite blush, Ilia Ladybird would maybe be the answer I give them. Cheers to you, icon. I have a couple of brow gels here. One is the Colfi Free the Brow brow gel. This is like one of those laminating brow gels. This type of thing. This type of thing. This was like so forgettable to me. I don't even remember how I felt about it. I remember I just kind of felt like meh. I think it did an okay job holding my brows. I don't think it did like the best job. I don't think it was like the easiest to apply. I don't think it was the worst. It was just kind of like fine to me. If you're looking for something that's like a clear brow gel that has pretty okay-ish hold, but maybe is like a little bit more flexible than like something like the Refi or the e.l.f. dupe of the Refi, then I guess this would be fine. I feel like you could really easily find this at a much lower cost though, if I'm honest. I did like the packaging. I like, this is something I always say in my empties video, but I like when things are easy to find. So the fact that it had like orange lid, lavender bottom, orange lid, lavender bottom. I don't know why, but there's something there. Formula-wise, I found it pretty unremarkable, to be honest. Ugh, a brow product that I hated, and I don't even know if I fully used up or I was just so over it, is the e.l.f. Wow Brow. I think this is, yeah, the shade Neutral Brown. A lot of people love this as like a one-and-done brow product. It doesn't have very much hold, but it kind of has like just enough, and it gives your brow just like a little bit of a tint. At least the old version did. This version, like, was so pigmented and bizarre. So I didn't really use it that much, and I also really hated this color. I think it was just like too like green or something, like green and cool toned at the same time. Didn't like that. Didn't like that. A couple of setting sprays, like a Catrice Prime and Fine Dewy Glow fixing. Okay. Fixing spray. This is really good. This is really good. I will say my heart has kind of been stolen by the One Size powder melt. It's so expensive though. Oh, and I hate when setting sprays are expensive. And this is definitely more affordable. I really wish they would sell jumbo versions of this. I mean, I can buy like 3 and get more product than I would. And it would probably be cheaper to buy 3 than it would to buy 1 of the powder melt. But like, I find it really annoying and wasteful that they only sell 1.69 fluid ounce versions of this. I would repurchase this though. I do really, really like this product. It's probably my second favorite like setting spray behind the One Size. The One Size though, I feel like does make my makeup last longer, and also just like it makes everything so seamless and beautiful and dewy and glowy and gorgeous. This does a really great job if you want like dewy finish to your makeup though. I also find it really, really great. I don't find it really helps as much on the longevity front though. And then the MAC Fix Plus Stay All Over. I'm not really buying from Estee Lauder brands right now. I did find this to be a really great long wear setting spray. When I needed my makeup to last, I would put this on, and it didn't feel like overly drying either, which I feel like some long wear setting sprays can. So I was actually really, really impressed by this, and if I do decide to buy from MAC in the future, which is something I can do because people can change their mind about that, and it's okay that people change their mind when they get new information or when things change, I would purchase this again if I needed like especially like I liked having it in the mini because I don't really need something like this for like all day because I prefer again like using a grippy primer, and then something like the One Size setting spray that helps but doesn't like make everything last like it's not like this. But I will say like for a mini, like if I was going on a trip where I really wanted my makeup to last, I would repurchase this if I was buying from MAC. Okay, a couple of mascaras. The same mascara, which has been my like ride or die for a while now. I don't know if they changed their formula or if my preferences have just changed, but this is not the same anymore. It's like really weighs down my lashes now. It's always been like a more wet formula, which I actually really don't mind because I find drier formulas irritate my eyes. I have a lot of like sensitivities around my eyes, and I think some of it is like ingredient and some of it is just like feeling. Like I have some sensory sensitivities, I guess. So I actually find wet mascaras are usually like easier to apply and like make those sensitivities pop up less. But I swear now that another mascara has entered my life, this has just turned to crap. And I don't know if there was a formula change or if it's just me, but I will not buy this again, which is weird to say, but I don't think I will. Unfortunately, the Westman Atelier mini mascara, and I say the mini because I haven't tried the full size. I may try the full size, although, oh, it's so much to spend on a mascara. But this is my new favorite mascara. It's so good. I feel like I like every Westman Atelier product that's like not popular. Like I never heard anybody talk about their pencil eyeliner, and then I tried it and I was like, this is the best pencil eyeliner ever. Have not really heard anybody talk about their mascara, and this is now by far my favorite mascara. It does just enough of everything, doesn't irritate my eyes. I think it looks wonderful. I don't know what to say. And I don't really usually have like a ton of smudging or any issues like that with mascara. I'm more focused on like the sensitivity and that I like the way that it looks on my lashes, and that checks all of my boxes. Again, the reviews are not that great on it, so like I don't know if you'd like it, but I unfortunately do, and it's like a ridiculously priced mascara. And then a couple of lip empties. I emptied this e.l.f. Movicide lip liner. This was actually a part of my project pan, which hopefully I've gotten y'all a much delayed update on. But I did empty this. I do already have a backup. Again, eventually in these empties videos, I can stop saying I don't buy from e.l.f. anymore, but I don't buy from e.l.f. anymore, or at least for the time being. I don't know. Maybe, like, yeah, I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about that. I'm still processing that. I guess I could see one day where I would buy from them again, just because everyone else is owned by, like, such evil people, and they're only, like, kind of sort of bad, but, like, I don't know. Carry the one. Who knows? I guess in my mind, I've, like, stopped using a lot of my e.l.f. stuff, but I am, like, especially with the primers, I'm, like, trying to use up the stuff that I would use up. So I have a couple of backups, or not even backups. I have, like, one of these Movicide lip liners and another one in the beige, beyond beige or something like that. And then I have a lip oil empty. And this is another one where I did take out the stopper because I randomly love this so much. This is the Winky Lux Very There lip oil in the shade Passion. It was the most perfect milky pink lip oil. I feel like a lot of lip oils these days, or glosses or whatever, like plumping or like just, again, the bells and whistles. This was just like a good old fashioned back in my day lip oil. Not really. It isn't today supposed to be my day. No day but today, as they said in Rent. This is so random. My mom got this as a gift with purchase with, I think, like an Olive and June order. She's a big Olive and June fan. And I think she like threw it in like a Christmas stocking or something. And I was like, I'm probably not going to wear that. So good. So randomly good. Winky Lux is not a brand I'm normally checking for, but I actually, like, I've been wanting, like, I don't have a lot of, like, glosses or oil, like, lip oils in my collection right now. And I, like, may buy another shade of this. This is such... It reminded me a lot of, like, the old... Which I checked, too, and they don't really make anymore. Like, the old ColourPop lip oils that aren't, like, tingling or cooling or whatever. Just, like, they were just lip oils. Just, like, a very, like, non-sticky... but kind of glossy formula. Really, really, really nice. And I like the shade of this a lot too. It looks like they have a couple other cute shades. So I actually would repurchase this, and I would just buy a new shade because it's just like a very easy, no fuss formula to kind of throw on when you want something on your lips. And it smelled like very lightly of vanilla. Let's see how many makeup empties I have. Lucky 13 makeup empties. Woohoo. Moving on to hair care. I have 3 hair care items, which is the same number of consecutive losses the Atlanta Dream has suffered in recent days as of filming. First thing is the Bumble & Bumble BB Curl Reactivator. I don't think I'd buy from Bumble & Bumble at this point, I will say. I was so unimpressed by this. This is like the second Bumble & Bumble product I bought. I will say the first one didn't work for me because I didn't realize it wasn't for color-treated hair. And pretty much every period in the last few years I've had color-treated hair, so that was my bad. This one was just so nothing. It was pretty expensive for what it was. I like having like a curl reactivator spray, and the only one I've really liked, because I tried another random brand that I got at Ulta after this one that I still don't like. I love the Kristen S one, and I just need to start buying that one again. This one did not impress me at all. It didn't really add that much hydration. Didn't really do anything, honestly. It just felt like I sprayed more, like not even more water, because water is usually very helpful for my hair. This just kind of felt like it really dried out my hair and didn't really do anything. I don't know why I did that. I'm not wearing it today. That's why my hair looks good, because I'm not wearing this. Not Your Mother's 10-in-1 All Eyes on Me Hair Perfector. Also has heat protection in it. It's kind of one of those things where it can detangle, control frizz, moisturizes. Kind of can use it as like a curl reviver, or you can use it as like heat protectant. I thought this was fine. I would not buy it again, but I wouldn't seek it out. I think there's probably a better version of this out there for me. Hair care is like, I do have my favorites, but there's also still some stuff that I kind of rotate through because I haven't found a heat protectant that I've like loved. If you have a heat protectant that you really, really love that's really good for curly hair, just let me know. I would love to hear what it is. But this I thought was pretty mid. And then something I do love and has become a staple product for me, and I have already repurchased, and I actually do have in my hair today, is the Lush Curl Power Hair Cream. I'm a big Lush girl. I feel like every time I'm in a mall, I drop a hundy in Lush. I like the scents, and yeah, I like the whole thing. I know people like sometimes don't love going into Lush, but last few times I've been there, I've just had like the best, most lovely experiences. I get kind of nervous when people talk to me in stores. I don't really love it. I don't know. Me and the girls at Lush are always in sync. This is just like a curl cream, but it's a great one. It really defines your curls well. It has a bit of hold in it, which I kind of like. I don't have to use a gel. Like I didn't use a gel today. I just used this along with, I used the JVN air dry cream first, which you can also diffuse with. And then I kind of defined my hair further with this. On some days I'll go in with just like a drugstore curl gel. Like I think I have the Aussie one right now. Kind of lightly define them even more. I really love how my hair looks with this in it. I think it is really beautiful. The scent, yeah, it just kind of smells like Lush to me. Kind of like vanilla lemony, I guess, but just so, like, I love pretty much every scent in Lush. So it does last, I will say. I mean, the first day especially, like, I can probably still smell it in my hair, which I don't mind, but you may. But yeah, this is really great. Now I have a couple of nail care things. This isn't going to take very long. I have the Equate nail polish remover. 100% acetone. I thought this was fine. I'm fine with using acetone on my nails. I haven't really looked up whether that's good or bad. If you want to like make a case for or against acetone in the comments, or point me to some more reliable sources than random people commenting on my YouTube videos. Maybe you're not random. I recognize most of y'all. Random or regular visitors of Cloveroom commenting on my YouTube videos. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Are you pro acetone or not? I don't know if I care. And then I used up one of the Olive and June Cuticles serums. This is like a little clicky thing. I don't know why I took sponge off, but I did. And these are like fine. They're really good on the go, which is why I like them. I don't think they do like the most... about to say the most banging job. I don't want to say that. I want to say something else. I don't think they do... Why can't I think of anything besides the most banging job? They're fine. Or, no, I feel like they're better than fine. I like them because they're quick, not necessarily because they're, like, mega hydrators for your cuticles. My cuticles are always kind of dry and weird. So is life. And then I have 3 body care products. I almost said the Harry Met Sally. The Harry's Body Wash in Fig. If you haven't heard the news from 3 years ago, this is a really great body wash version of Glossier You. It smells so good. I think by the end of this, I was really sick of it because I really can't emphasize how giant this bottle is. I mean, like, I have a big head, and like this is a 30 ouncer. I mean, this is basically a Stanley cup, but instead of water, it had Fig, cedar, and orange Harry Met Sally body wash in it. And I remember this being really affordable too. I would definitely buy this again. Yeah, I think more in the fall. I feel like it's a better fall scent, but it's a pretty basic body wash. I wasn't like blown away by the formula, but I also did not like it. What I've been doing a lot recently is I like to mix whatever face wash I'm using, especially if it's like a face and body wash, like the Pre-Cool one. I don't have an empty of that, but I am using, like currently in my shower, is the Cleanser, the Pre-Cool face and body cleanser. The Cleanser. Sometimes I don't know if I'm like saying things in like a funny kind of like Sondheim-esque way, or if I'm just like sounding like an idiot. And it's always fun to discover which it is on the flip side when I'm editing this in post. That makes it sound more official than it is. To kind of like help me not run out of body wash quickly, especially with that one lasted like half a year. I feel like I mixed it with a face wash, which I find works really well because the face wash is usually better at actually hydrating my skin. And then I can use less of like the body wash. I don't really know why I do that. I just do. I especially like to do it right now because I have a Lush body wash, which is definitely a lot more expensive than that Harry's one. I also like the Lush body washes better. And that was just something I guess I started doing with that because I like to preserve my really expensive body washes. This is an empty of the Vanderhagen, I think. Bar shaving soap. I find a shaving soap, like a solid bar of shaving soap used with like a shaving brush last like 8 times as long as a bottle of shaving cream. When I was using shaving cream that like was an actual cream, I was going through them like once a month. It was crazy. And then when I switched to like a solid bar, I like can buy a 3-pack that lasts me like a year and a half, 2 years. It's kind of wild. And then the last body care item I have is this Glossier hand cream in the shade Lily Haze. I like how convenient these hand creams are to use. They can be hard to use like all the way up, and they can get kind of hard to press out toward the end. So I don't think I'd repurchase for that reason. But if I ever did repurchase, it would be another scent because this Lily Haze scent can only be described as gas station vanilla. I hated this scent. I like absolutely cannot stand this scent, and I did not like using this because of it. So yeah, that's my very intense opinion on Glossier Lily Haze. I found it wretched, actually, like really bad, like really offensive to the senses, even though people said it was good. I also don't like love a vanilla. I'll say like a vanilla's got to be more than a vanilla for me, and that's like not even a vanilla. It's like less than a vanilla somehow. And then last, we have some skincare items. Okay, I have 2 cleansers to talk about. First, I have the Coco Kind Milky Soft Face and Body Cleanser. I was very excited when I saw Coco Kind come out with this. I did buy from them because they were donating the proceeds, I think, to Minneapolis immigration organizations, especially around, like, all the ICE stuff. So I thought that was cool, and Coco Kind was a brand I wanted to explore more because they always seemed like a brand I should like. And I I really want to like them, but it's not that I don't even like them. They're just not, like, my favorite. It's just, like, I don't know. There's just, like, better products out there, unfortunately. Even though I really want to be a Coco Kind stan because I find their price point really great. I like the brand kind of ethos, and I feel like their products should work for me. And this was no exception, unfortunately. I thought it was a really cool idea. It was a kind of similar marketing situation to the cleanser where this was for the face and body, but it was more of like a milky, like it said in the title, milky soft, a non-stripping milky gel, kind of more akin to like the Glossier Milky Jelly Cleanser, which I really miss, but I've heard the formula's changed so much, and that's like such a tiny bottle. I will say one thing that I like that they did and Pre-Cool does is when they make it a face and body, it's like a lot bigger, so I feel better about using it on my body because I'm not going to go through it as much, and it also lasts longer than a lot of face cleansers, which you would actually think it should, but I will find, like, one of my big problems with this is that I found the pump really hard to control the amount of product that came out, so I always ended up with more product than I wanted, because this, like, went a pretty long way. So I found that really annoying because I felt like I ran through it quicker than I normally would have if the pump had been better, which is, like, kind of a specific thing to say, but it did make a big difference in my experience with the product. I also didn't find it particularly hydrating or helpful to my skin. Like, on the surface, I kind of like the texture better than the cleanser, but in practice, I actually did not find it did nearly as good of a job as a cleanser does at, like, keeping the hydration on my skin and not drying my skin out. This didn't necessarily dry it out, but it didn't do a great job. Felt very soapy, which is my least favorite quality about a cleanser. I really was hoping I was gonna love this, and I just didn't, unfortunately. Another cleanser that I really didn't like, I'm so happy to be back with the cleanser in my shower, I will say, and I don't think I'm going to veer from that for a while. This is the Aveeno Calm and Restore Nourishing Oat Cleanser. I've used up one of these a couple of years ago, and I remembered really liking it, and then this I really hated. Like, this was a drudge to get through. Like, it was not my favorite. Again, it felt really soapy, I guess, and I guess I just love the cleanser so much that anything else is not going to be my thing. It's fragrance free, but there was just something about it that my skin didn't love, and I didn't love from, like, a texture perspective. So I wouldn't buy this again. I have a hydrating milky toner from Bioma. This was, like, fine. I'm using the Bubble milky toner now, which I've talked about before, but that one is so good and, like, knocks this one so far out of the water. The only thing that I like better about this is the packaging. It doesn't have the weird top that the Bubble one does, and this has 5 ounces of product. The Bubble one has only 3.4. I really wish the Bubble one was in this packaging because then it would be perfect. So I did like how long it took me to go through this. It wasn't a bad milky toner, it just wasn't a great one. I prefer something a lot thicker and more hydrating. I think I don't really know. My best educated guess is that this would maybe be better for people with oily skin who want a very light milky toner, but I could be wrong about that because I feel like what creators do a lot of the time is they, like, just go off their experience. So if I'm a dry skin person and I did like a product, it would be bad for oily skin. Or if I'm a dry skin person and I did not like a product, then it's automatically good for oily skin if it's not hydrating enough. But I feel like oftentimes that's not really true, and when I have said, like, things like that, people in the comments are like, no, that's not true. Actually, Ellen, that's not true. So I don't know who this would be good for, but a lot of people really love it, so I guess a lot of people, but I didn't super care for it. It wasn't nearly as thick and hydrating as I like in a milky toner like the Bubble one is or like the Ilia one is. This Cocoa Kind Ceramide Barrier Serum, this is one of their best-selling products. It was an okay hydrating serum. I didn't really notice much from it. I ran through it pretty quickly. I will say that's like the case for all of these hydrating serums that are like in a fluid ounce. I find them way too easy to run through. I have a couple of Empty Experiment Molecular Mesh, got on the first try, moisturizers. I really love this moisturizer. It's like my favorite moisturizer you can buy at like a mainstream place like Sephora. I like it, I think, just as much, I would say, as the Phytosurgeon's Verdant Force Field. I haven't used the Verdant Force Field in a while though, so I may want to repurchase that soon. I'm still using up a Cocoa Kind moisturizer I got in that order that you can probably guess my thoughts on. But once I do, I'll probably either buy this one or the Verdant Force Field again. Maybe I'll experiment with a different one. Moisturizers are so hit or miss for me that once I find one I like, I usually just buy it. So I definitely would and probably will repurchase this. I would like to actually try more from the brand Experiment. I think it seems to be a very cool brand. It seems to be a brand that has a lot of products that people really like. I've heard good things about their hydrating serum too and their face oil. Speaking of face oil, this is my favorite face oil of all time. This is the Phytosurgeon's Regenerative Face Oil. It does have some essential oils in it, so if you don't like that, don't get it, but it smells so good. At least I think it does. It's such a beautiful little nighttime ritual, and it hydrates your skin beautifully in the dead of winter. I don't really need it for the summer, even though my skin's still dry. I haven't been using a face oil, and that's been going pretty well for me, but definitely when it gets colder, I will re-up on this sometime in the fall, because this is really, really gorgeous. And I think most face oils that are like similar kind of qualities to this are like double the price. This is amongst the more expensive things My apologies to phytosurgeons. I don't know why I keep saying phytosurgeons. But I think it's well worth the price. I find phytosurgeons is a very fairly priced brand, and this is beautiful. So we'll definitely repurchase her when the time comes. Last thing I have are a few sunscreen items. I have 2 of the Live Tinted Hue Guards. This is probably my favorite face sunscreen, along with the CeraVe Ultralight Moisturizing Lotion. I would repurchase this at some point. I will say I'm kind of just doing the CeraVe for now because it is like half the price of this for the same amount of product. This is mineral, the CeraVe is chemical, but they both kind of do a very similar thing of it's kind of a non-detectable, slightly hydrating, but mostly like a natural finish that looks really great under makeup. I think these are great. I think if you could catch them on sale, they were a part of the Ulta 20 days of 21 days of beauty. I think 21 sounds better. 21 days of beauty. So they were 50% off for that. I didn't buy them at the time because I didn't need them, but if they came back during the 21 days of beauty, I would definitely pick up some. And then sometimes Live Tinted has sales on their website. I got these 2 because they were a GMA deal of the day or something, so it was 50% off a select amount of products, including these, so I bought a couple. But yeah, I don't think at this point I'm gonna pay like full price for them just because it's a little, for me, just spendy on something that, again, I go through quite quickly. I don't mind buying more expensive like makeup items that take a while to go through or that I'll have for a very long time from more like luxury or prestige brands, but for my staples, things I run through in makeup a lot and things I run through in skincare a lot, I really prefer to keep those more kind of at the drugstore, Ulta level than the Sephora level, or definitely a luxury level. Last thing is the Black Girl Sunscreen Kids SPF 50. This is a sunscreen I use if I'm not using makeup, so if I'm just going outside, taking Dodger on a walk, running, whatever, walking. This is really great. It's a very easy, breezy sunscreen. It is chemical, but it hasn't stung my eyes. You can put on the face and body, obviously. And it's a very just good, basic sunscreen. It is water resistant for 80 minutes, and it's pretty affordable. I think it's like around 15 bucks for 3 ounces. I have already repurchased this, and I'm almost through that one too. I find it really hard to like, find just like a good basic sunscreen that isn't too expensive, so I've just been repurchasing this one. Their kids one seems to be like the most popular one from the brand. And that was 11 skincare empties. We did it. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm just gonna put those down. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, give this video a like. Helps me a lot in the Wild Wild West YouTube algorithm. Subscribe if you want to see future videos. Hype if you must. If you really must. And thank y'all so much for being here. We're gonna be okay. Bye, y'all.